From the Keith Vincent Kaola Studios in Patterson, New Jersey, Green Arrow Media proudly presents Is This Real? Tonight we're discussing the ghosts of Alcatraz State Penitentiary. And now your host, JC3.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
adamandeve.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another fantastic episode of Is This Real?
Is this real?
Tonight's episode, as you heard from Big Joe at the beginning, we were talking about the ghosts of Alcatraz as we continue this spooky month. And I think this episode will actually be posted after Halloween. I believe that's how we set it up. So
Probably.
if this episode is, we're in the spooky month of November now. You know, the month where the
Indigenous
pilgrims
people died.
The pilgrims killed all the Native Americans for their turkeys and did all that.
I don't
Yes.
think that's how that works, but okay.
It is pretty spooky.
It is pretty spooky.
This airs on November 5th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went to go adjust my
We've
glasses.
pissed that off already.
I've done my job then. All right, in the booth tonight, you heard we have Big Joe. Big Joe, say hello.
Fuck you.
All right, I know, like it. We also have Beanbag Man himself, the
I'm
Pope.
a motherfucking Pope. That is what I am. Ciao.
Beanbag Man, refrigerator fucker, microwave tender lover, whatever you want to call
The
it.
dot at the desk. You know, I'm just everybody.
Toaster stroker.
Friskers.
Mr. West. Mr. West is in the building.
Going by what? Bitch.
Okay. Mr. Roblox is in the house.
No, I like that. Put Mr. before.
Mr.
No, okay.
Roblox.
Hey, yo,
Just-
yo.
You sound
what's
like
going
a
on?
very, go by Mr. Roblox.
It's either that or Lord Roblox, okay? So pick your poison.
Lord Roblox.
Certain.
Oh, Roblox-sama.
Oh, Senpai.
Oni-chan, what are you doing?
I'm JC3.
Whoa! Not that one. Not that one.
All right. So as we, let's talk about Alcatraz.
Why you don't do drugs, children?
Jugs.
Last week we talked about the Men in Black, and that was a very interesting episode. We talked about the Benny and Barney case. I think that was
Benny and Barney Hill.
Yeah, that case. And
They
this
were
week,
abducted.
now we go back to ghosts. We did aliens, ghosts. Now we're back to aliens, and then now we're back to ghosts. So Alcatraz prison. We knew it was an active prison for, I think, 40, 50 years, right? Something
30
like that.
Less than that.
33.
33.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was only like 29 years or something like that. 26
Wow.
or something.
Wow,
It's an
okay.
evil place. That's how I feel about Alcatraz. I think it's evil.
All right. Well, I have a little information here. In 1933, the Army relinquished Alcatraz to the U.S. Justice Department, which wanted a federal prison that could house a criminal population too difficult and dangerous to be handled by other U.S. penitentiaries. Following construction to make the existing complex at Alcatraz more secure, the maximum security facility officially opened July 1st, 1934. The first warden, James A. Johnson, he was born in 1874, died in 1954, hired approximately 1 guard for every 3 prisoners. Each prisoner had his own cell. The Federal Bureau of Prisons viewed Alcatraz as the prison system's prison, a place where the most disruptive inmates could be sent to live under sparse conditions with very few privileges in order to learn how to follow rules, at which point they could be transferred to other federal prisons to complete their sentence.
Because that works so fucking well.
According to the BOP, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, Alcatraz typically held some 260 to 275 prisoners, which represented less than 1% of the entire federal inmate population.
So they were the 1% of the 1%.
They were the 1% of the 1%.
Yeah, it's like we want a supermax place, the worst place we could send the worst people in our country, the ones who really need to be locked away. How many? Oh, about 200 of them. Like, that's it? I'm surely there's more than just 200 of the worst.
No, I mean, look, it's one of those
There's
things.
a lot of people incarcerated, especially at that time.
Yeah. They held criminals such as Al Capone, Machine Gun Kelly, not the rapper, and
No shit.
and
Damn. Got my
Whitey
hopes
Bulger.
Yeah, Whitey Bulger was in
I
Alcatraz.
thought Whitey Bulger was 70s.
Whitey Bulger was a lifelong criminal, and he evaded capture, but he did serve time in Alcatraz.
That's weird to me because you would tend like that's towards like the end.
Yeah,
of
it's two
Alcatraz,
different like
you know?
time eras, and
Yeah.
when you think about it, you're like, oh man, it's like Martin Luther King and Anne Frank. You don't put them in you don't think of them in the same thing, but they're both born like around. I think they were born the same year. Like they're both. I mean, obviously two different parts of the world, two different stories, but you don't tend to think of those two people when you think of that time in history.
All right, Wes, you have a little information about Alcatraz you could share with the people?
From what I kind of saw, it was Alcatraz started off as like a fortress back in the day, and then after the fortress, they turned it into was it a military? I don't know if it was I think it was a military prison, and then they turned it into an actual like maximum security prison for all these inmates, but it's not more so like of like ghosts or anything, but from the little research that I did, what made Alcatraz such a great prison was the geography of that place, just because it's like smack right in the middle of San Francisco, in the San
bay,
Francisco
right?
Bay.
Yep.
But
How far off of the Golden Gate Bridge is it?
1.25
it's about a mile off from the shore. So it fucks with prisoners because it's so close to home that
Yet so far,
but you think you could think
That's
as a
fucked up.
prisoner that like, oh, it's only a mile. I can swim a mile. Swimming a mile is nothing. But the part that makes it even swimming a mile, it's tough.
For you,
It's
maybe.
tough.
I mean,
It's
for me,
tough.
I'm dying halfway through.
Well, it's
Quarter
tough.
of the way through.
It's tough, but it's not something that's impossible. Especially if you're a prisoner that's dedicated to trying to like escape from this place, like you're gonna try to swim as best as you can.
Mhm.
But what's fucked about Alcatraz is that how the geography of that land is. When they did sonar tests, this was maybe back a few years ago, just because they wanted to understand what made Alcatraz such a good prison, is that it's pretty much like a mountain that is that's like in the middle of the bay, but this mountain has like pockets where the current, it'll create stuff called eddies. And what an eddy is that it's pretty much like a small whirlpool where people that did escape from this prison, they had to fight against those types of currents.
Yeah.
Which
Sucked him right down.
it destroyed whatever rafts they were trying to do. So the survival rate pretty much is like near impossible to try to escape from this island. And when they did their test, they concluded that the only time that you can escape from this prison is like legitimately when the tides are changing. But you also have to consider like the moon plays a big part with the tides as well too. So it has to be like perfect conditions.
Yep.
where these tides are able to just be subtle enough for you to just go swimming across this. But then you have great whites in the San Francisco Bay that you have to worry about too, depending on the time of year. If it's in the summer, because that's mating season for sharks and shit like that.
Calm down, Anthony.
I don't get off the shark fucking.
We don't know with you though.
But they did.
I've seen your internet history.
But I know that there are some people that have escaped, but on Alcatraz's official history or record, no one has officially successfully escaped from that prison.
Well, I'll have it.
Also, like, you consider the water is like fucking cold.
Ice cold.
It's ice cold. So it's like, I gotta swim a mile against the current in freezing cold water. You're gonna die.
Well, over the years, there were 14 known attempts to escape from Alcatraz involving 36 inmates. The Federal Bureau of Prisons reports that these would-be escapees, 23 of them were captured, 6 were shot and killed during their attempted getaways, 2 drowned, and 5 went missing and were presumed dead.
Yeah.
The most famous escape attempt resulted in battle from May 2nd to May 4th, 1946, in which 6 prisoners overpowered cell house officers and were able to gain access to weapons, but not the keys needed to leave the prison. In the ensuing battle, the prisoners killed 2 correctional officers and injured 18 others. The U.S. Marines were called in, and the battle ended with the deaths of 3 of the rogue inmates and the trial of the 3 others, 2 of whom... what the fuck? 2 of whom received the death penalty for their actions. So they're not saying, people sat there and escaped. I do remember hearing a story about maybe it's one of those like lores, like one person did escape there but never was found or anything
Let's think
like that.
6 of them were. 6 of them managed to get out, but they were never caught.
No, they didn't leave
There's a few famous stories. I forget their names. I think it was back in the 60s where 3 of them escaped, and those were the ones that like are kind of unaccounted for. One of them successfully made it to the base of the Golden Gate Bridge, but by the time that they found him, he was like so physically exhausted that they just brought him back into. He was probably one of the ones that was captured, but that was the only one that they found that successfully made it as far as to like the Golden Gate Bridge. Everybody else is just presumed dead because those currents are just way too strong to fight.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at photos of this, I mean, it looks haunting and daunting.
Sure, it's a fucking prison.
It's just by itself alone. Like I know, it's a prison, but it looks like, okay, something died there. Someone died there.
Well, they didn't take care of the place either.
No, they didn't.
That's what leads to people. That led to people not successfully escaping, but like because they knew there were some people that worked their way around of it. That they saw that like, oh, this building is falling apart. You can do this, and this here, and you can probably get away.
Yeah, this is also, you gotta think of like, this is the 30s to the 60s. This is not a time for snowflakes. You know what I mean? Like, there was brutality. It was, you're gonna do what I say or I'm gonna knock your fucking teeth loose, or worse. Like, there was no problem with someone just like, throw him in a cell with that guy. He'll fuck him up.
Here's this. This is very interesting on its own right. This is before it became a federal prison. In 1775, Spanish explorer Juan Manuel de Ayala, 1745 to 1797, mapped and named rugged Alcatraz Island, christening it La Isla de los Alcatrazes, or Island of the Pelicans, due to its large population of seabirds. 75 years later, in 1850, President Millard Fillmore signed an order reserving the island for military use. During the 1850s, a fortress was constructed on Alcatraz and some 100 cannons were installed around the island to protect San Francisco Bay. Also during this time, Alcatraz became home of the West Coast's first operational lighthouse. Is there a lighthouse on it now? There was. They took it down?
Yeah, it was dismantled.
All right. By the late 1850s, the U.S. Army had begun holding military prisoners at Alcatraz, isolating them from the mainland. By the cold, strong waters of San Francisco Bay, the island was deemed an ideal location for a prison, and it was assumed no Alcatraz inmate could attempt to escape by swimming and surviving. Also, before that, it was also even before that, Native Americans used to send their, I would guess you call them, I wouldn't say prisoners. They wouldn't be
Tribesmen?
prisoners. No, they used to send the people they like, oh, you did something bad.
They punished them there.
Yeah,
The outcasts.
The outcasts, and they used to send them to that island because
You did something wrong in the tribe, and they had nowhere else to put you.
Yeah,
And yeah.
they
Is
also
that like
believe.
is that like a confirmed thing?
Yeah, they stole some peyote. You go to Alcatraz.
They also believe that island was haunted. Like the land itself was haunted.
See, that's the thing. Oh, I don't think. Okay, was it haunted, or to them it was considered sacred and spiritual? Because you gotta remember, like, you go down far enough, eventually you get to a group of people who go, that island there isn't good, and you gotta ask them why. No one was there before you. Like, we know that it was bad because there's prisoners. Prior to the prison, it was a holy land or a spiritual land for natives. Like, I don't think it was like it's an evil place by itself because it's just an island. I think it's an evil place because of the history of the prison system and the violence that went there, and people died there.
Well, see, there's where we run into a little bit of a problem. Alcatraz itself, beforehand, was already, before the military took it over, before they built the fort, the Indians already considered there was something wrong with the land. Now, of course, there's no records. They don't keep records. They didn't keep records back then, so nobody knows for sure. However, the ghosts of Alcatraz have to come from somewhere. But the problem with that is there wasn't a lot of people that died on Alcatraz. There was no executions.
No, there wasn't.
They left it to the state, the state penitentiaries. There were 8 people murdered by inmates on Alcatraz. 5 committed suicide, and 15 died from natural causes.
So you're talking less than 30 people actually died on the rock.
And 30 some years or whatever it was. So, I don't understand if there are ghosts there.
28 confirmed deaths.
Yeah.
Right. So
Again, that's confirmed though. There's been a lot of incidences during the. I'm reading some right now that they're saying there's been a lot of suicide attempts and suicides that have happened on the
5
island.
men committed suicide. That's on the record. Now, if there's some stuff that's off the record and we don't know about, look,
one of the worst incidents was an attempted escape in May 46. I think this is the one we were talking about before, and that left 3 of them dead.
Yes.
A couple of the guards dead, and so that's
that was Coy, Kretzer, and Hubbard, right? That was the escape.
Yeah,
the 3 of them in 1946.
I think a lot of this.
There's another one of someone west and another. There's.
I think a lot of this stuff that goes on with the lore of ghosts and stuff like that has to do some of what Wes was saying. I do believe, you are literally on an island a mile away from home. You can see planes landing or whatever it was. You can see the hustle and bustle, but you were also isolated. You were like, it kind of like you were alone. There was nothing you couldn't. Up until 1937, the inmates couldn't talk to each other. The only time they could talk to each other was through when they were having dinner or recreation. So they were basically kept, in this. The guy wrote a book. Roy Gardner wrote a book called Alcatraz. It fucks with you.
Well, and plus there's many movies about Alcatraz and the stories. I just remember Pop watching so many like old movies about the escapes from Alcatraz and stuff.
The Rock
like that.
is a great movie. It has nothing to do with nothing to do with this. It just took place on Alcatraz.
But before
film.
they said that Native Americans in some scripts that they found from not found but they have received from Native Americans around that area, they used to call it the Evil Island.
It's foreboding, like absolutely. When you think about it, it's like everyone we've said. It's this island in the middle of the bay. It's just far enough to be too far away, but it's just close enough to be not close enough. You know what I mean? It's like
it's like torturing a starving dog with a piece of hanging meat, but then have that dog chained to something just out of reach.
Yeah, and then in fact, like what's the most. And this
like
goes
tie me to a treadmill with a burrito in front of me.
That's exactly, yeah.
And then think of like in any prison, right? Think of like all the haunted prisons we know of. You have this one, you have Eastern State, so on and so forth. which Al Capone did time in both, which I think is awesome. Like Capone, like he went on tour. He was in Alcatraz, he was in Eastern State. But think of it like what's the most, generally speaking, you hear like the most activity as far as haunting in a prison. Where is that usually located in a prison?
For me, I hear about Eastern State more than
No. I mean, like within a prison itself, where do you think you would find if there was
Execution
death
chamber.
row?
not death row?
The
no,
hospital.
nope, not the
Wait,
hospital.
I'm sorry.
Cell
what was
block
the-
D?
what was the- what was- I'm sorry. Wait, what was the question?
You're right, but that's for. I'll tell you in a second. If you have a prison and it's old and haunted,
Okay.
right? Where would you most likely find a ghost in that facility?
Solitary.
Thank you. Now, Joey's right when he said cell block D is the solitary wing of Alcatraz.
Well, no, I'm not saying for that. I from all the
You just got lucky.
no, it's not even that. From all the ghost shows that I watch, and they'll go to a prison.
Yeah.
It could be any prison.
Yeah.
For some reason, that they always say, well, the most of our hauntings in cell block D.
Cell block
Like
D
I
is-
don't know why it's
I don't
always
know why.
cell
Maybe
block
it's-
D.
Maybe there's some sort of thing within the prison system where like wing A, cell block A is like Gen Pop, cell block B is for this, cell block D is always the, like when you say cell block D in any prison, you know that's the isolation.
Yeah.
Might be. I don't know. I don't
You
know that
also
much
gotta
about prison.
understand, you know, in the language of the prison, when you go to a like this one, the dreaded cell in 14D.
14D.
Okay,
Yeah.
D is like A would be the least crazy criminals. B would be the next level,
Oh.
and D is always the worst of the worst
Yeah.
of the
So
worst.
like, and isolation, you're talking a tiny room
No
with
light.
no lights, a toilet, and not a bed, just a slab to lay on. You're not comfortable. It's a coffin. It's just that you have maybe 5 feet above your head.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're locked in there for days.
Okay,
It would drive a
calm down.
motherfucker insane.
Well,
It
all
would.
it takes is, I think, 21 days in solitary for you to just lose your mind.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's all
So
it
like
takes.
they got to be careful with that shit. And this is during, like I said, the 30s to the 60s, a time where it's it's brutality in prisons.
Yeah, not a lot of rules.
They like, I'm on an island. I run this fucking prison. I'll
I'm
do
not
what I
funny,
want to the prisoners. What are they gonna do? Complain? They're in prison.
Yeah.
I'll doesn't matter.
Fuck them.
That's where you get the power trips.
Yep.
There wasn't any like groups, like special interest groups about prisoners' rights. It didn't exist then.
I don't think they still have. I don't think they have.
No,
that
they
now.
do. They do. Like prisoners cannot be treated in a certain manner because that's
Oh, I know,
torturous
yeah.
or whatever. Like there's people who advocate for that.
We're gonna take a short break. We'll be right back. Please
Fucking
listen
prison, bro.
to our some of our sponsors.
Fuck is there to complain about?
We'll be right back.
Hey everybody, we're just letting you know that we have new merch in our store. Go to greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio for our first ever logo drop. The Cryptid Collection is here. Get your favorite cryptids such as Bigfoot, Mothman, Nessie, the Yeti, or the Jersey Devil on t-shirts, hats, or mugs. You can also get all of our podcast logos on various items as well. Remember, that's greenhourmediastore.myspreadshop.com, greenhourmedia.org, or the link in the bio. New episodes of Is This Real drop Sundays at 8. Question everything.
Hello, this is JC3 speaking. If you want to know more about Is This Real podcast and our parent company Green Hour Media, then visit greenhourmedia.org. You can find and follow all of our social media pages through our website. If you love our content, then you can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel and our Patreon page. Remember, that is greenhourmedia.org. And welcome back as we continue our episode about Alcatraz here with the full booth. Well, not the full booth. We're missing our seat though.
Yep.
All right, let's get into the hauntings
Yep.
of Alcatraz. We laid the land base and told the history of Alcatraz.
Let's talk
and
about the hole.
Let's talk. Why?
Well, that's because that's the isolation. That's what
Yeah,
it's called,
I
the
understand.
hole.
Stop it. All right. I want you to just stop.
Joey, I like the hole.
All right. That's
The hole's always on my
You
mind.
need to stop.
It's at the tip of my tongue right now.
Stop. You're still going. That's verbal violation.
West.
Who the fuck am I going to
Hands.
stab today?
West, Muay Thai.
No, I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I love how it's just like a command thing.
It's like sick 'em.
All right.
Eric's like a fucking Pokemon at this point.
Yes! Yes!
I choose you, West.
Muay Thai.
Use Muay Thai, and then I just hear.
Oh, I'm gonna get you a shirt. I'm gonna make you into a Pokemon.
Anthony
It's gonna
fainted.
look fucking awesome.
It's super effective.
All right,
I
let's
wouldn't be a
get.
fighting type.
You would be.
All right,
More or
okay.
I am.
The hauntings, the reputation of Alcatraz, like the solid ground it was built on, represents a lasting reminder that no man is above the law, and for some, is an eternal payback for the crimes they committed against humanity. Kind of a paranormal prison. Here are some of the stories. During a sightings visit in 1992, several of the park's service staff confirmed the haunted history of Alcatraz. Many rangers had experienced unexplainable crashing sounds, cell doors mysteriously closing, unearthly screams, an intense feeling of being watched. Sightings called on psychic investigator Peter James to walk through portions of the abandoned prison to get his impressions. James began to pick up on the voices of tortured souls driven mad since its inception as a prison. He also sensed unusual vibrations of abuse, mistreatment, fear, and pain. His overall impression of Alcatraz was that it had an energy like no other he ever had experienced. A persistent and overwhelming intensity that engulfed the island.
Oh, I got one here that just sent shivers down my spine.
That's a long way. Some of the more haunted locations on Alcatraz appear to be in the warden's house, the hospital, the laundry
You hit him so hard, he didn't have an immediate quip.
It was super effective.
It really was.
Some of the more haunted locations on Alcatraz appear to be the warden's house, the hospital, the laundry room, and cell block C utility door, where convicts Coy, Kretzer, and Hubbard died during their escape attempt in 1946. The most haunted area in Alcatraz is the D cell block, or solitary, as it is often called. To most who go there, a feeling of sudden intensity pervades the cells and corridor. Some rangers refuse to go there alone. It is intensely cold in certain cells, far colder than normal, especially cell 14D. This cell is oftentimes so cold that wearing a jacket barely helps, and even though the surrounding area is 20 degrees warmer. It is no wonder the area was called the Hole. Who was yelling?
I don't know.
When authors Richard Weiner and Nancy Osborne visited Alcatraz, they ventured down to solitary with a park ranger. As Osborne entered cell 14D, she immediately felt strong vibrations coming from within. Weiner and the ranger followed Osborne, and within seconds, each of them experienced an intense tingling sensation in their hands and arms. They were convinced that something or someone was in there with them. The far corner of the cell where they were standing and feeling this intense energy was the exact spot where the naked, shivering prisoners would huddle night after night in the unforgiving darkness. Osborne said that she had never felt so much energy before in one spot.
It was called the Hole because there was a single light that the guards could turn on and off. And once,
At will?
Yeah, whenever they wanted to. And that once that light was off, that was it. There was no light at that point. There was no window. It was just darkness. And although this is a former guard who told the story, I don't know, didn't say who the prisoner was, but allegedly they had thrown someone in 14D, and he immediately started screaming. He said he saw a pair of eyes in there with him, and he was yelling, screaming to let him out, let him out, let him out. He wouldn't stop screaming, and they just fucking ignored him. And the next morning they found him strangled, and they said that it couldn't have been anybody. They said the strangulation was of someone else who strangled him. None of the guards ever admitted doing it, and not even to each other. And then they said that they had seen his ghost later on in the back of the line, like a prisoner line, and everyone was like, "What the fuck? He's dead!" And then he just disappeared into thin air. But here's the crazy shit, like, see, it would make sense if, like, I'm tired of hearing this. He screams for what, like that. Like, if the dog doesn't start barking, I'm gonna part his fucking skull with a candle. Like, if this guy doesn't stop screaming, I'm going in there and strangling him.
He does not strangle the dog, folks.
That's like the easiest solution is just like, I'll kill him myself. But no guard ever admitted to it, and every guard was like, it wasn't me. So that's like the weird part. Like, obviously he didn't, Jeffrey Epstein himself, but something did.
Okay.
And that's only if this is true, because
that's scary as hell though, because like if you're in pitch darkness and you see a pair of eyes.
Well, you know that you're by yourself.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, if you know you're by yourself and you see eyes in the room, you're fucking leaving.
Well, you can't.
It could be any room. But let alone a place that you know you can't leave.
Damn the eyes. If I'm locked in a room and it's dark.
Where you should be. In a padded one.
If I'm locked in a room that's dark and I see something, doesn't matter. It could be a cute little innocent like looking thing. I am screaming. Because it shouldn't fucking be there. Okay, it could be a little Pomeranian dog. It could be it could be a kitten licking its balls and meowing. I am screaming because it shouldn't fucking be there.
It's the FBI reflective jacket.
Then all of a sudden he puts the kitten in his ass. No,
FBI's listening.
Renowned ghost hunter Richard Sennett. Do you know who Richard Sennett is, Dad?
No, but I was wondering who's going to get to the gerbil part.
Renowned ghost hunter Richard Sennett and a psychic spent the night on Alcatraz as part of
have fun with that.
A KGO radio promotion. They chose the Al Capone suite. The Al Capone cell.
Was he the suite? What?
See, he should have stated it wasn't sweet.
Was he like a confirmed real psychic, or like was he one of them bullshitting ass motherfuckers?
No, if they're calling him a psychic on this website, I guarantee it was a psychic.
Like Al Capone's like suite in Eastern State was like, it had like a couch, it had a radio, it had a rug, it was decorated. I don't know if he had the same treatment in Alcatraz.
According to Richard Sennett, emotions
he did
seemed to drip from every corner of Alcatraz as the long night processed. He had the psychic visited the spots where rangers said they heard marching footsteps and clanking metal. However, nothing happened. Finally, Sennett locked himself in cell 12D, where an evil and persistent ghost is rumored to dwell. As the thick
12 or 14.
12D, not 14D.
Yeah, it's like
12.
12. Yeah, like 12 and 14 for whatever reason are the two hot spots in the isolation wing.
As the thick steel door was closed, Sennett immediately felt icy fingers on his neck, and his hair stood on end. He knew he was not alone. Additionally, the psychic picked up on the twisted and dismembered bodies of uniformed men. Both left the island convinced that Alcatraz had its own special energy.
I remember reading. No, sorry.
Just imagine like someone goes like this.
I remember watching. It was
fuck that.
Some ghost show long time ago. I'm talking like early '90s. They did there was like a thing Uncle Bubba rented from Blockbuster. That's how long ago it was on VHS. I know, I'm dating myself. And it was like the Ghost of Alcatraz type shit, or the world's famous ghost. Anyway, they had a psychic in one of these fucking cells, and I remember they said like. I remember watching, like, they put their hands up against the wall. And they're like, I can feel the person. They were chained or something like that to this wall. And, like, they were running their hands up and down the wall. And, like, they kept stopping in the same spot. And, like, this person stood here with his hand against this wall right here. And, like, he was screaming and like, this is what this prisoner did for hours. He was holding himself right here and trying to ground himself because everything was around him was darkness.
Ugh.
And there was a sense of foreboding. Like, the psychic was there for like 5 minutes and then she had to leave because she's like, I'm feeling the same things now. Like, it's not a very nice place.
There's a bunch of stories. Like, I have this one here. According to Antoinette May, much of the paranormal activity on Alcatraz occurs around areas associated with the penitentiary's worst tragedies. One of them is Block C, Utility Corridor, cell blocks A and B, with the eeriest area centering on 14D, where it was always cold. According to May, gifted psychic Sylvia Brown, accompanied by a CBS News team, investigated parts of Alcatraz. As Brown toured the prison hospital, she picked up cards and notes tacked on the walls, and the letter S. A ranger confirmed that the S probably stood for Robert Shroud, who spent 10.5 years in the hospital.
The Birdman, if I'm not mistaken. That's
in the
Birdman
very
of
room they
Alcatraz.
were standing. He also had hundreds of notes and cards tacked on up all around him. Brown sensed strong energy in what used to be the therapy room and the prison laundry room, where one prisoner was murdered.
Like, I don't know if anyone else believes this, but like, you have this sense of like, we are energy, right? Like, there is energy in all of us. That idea of like, just by nature, like we function off of energy. And if someone is brutally murdered, or there's a tragedy, like the idea of what a ghost could be is some of that energy remains somehow locked in that place of,
like we
brutality.
said post episode, I think we said it in the Myrtle Plantation, that when you look at tragic things that have happened on areas of land, the spirit, the energy attaches itself to it, and that's literally. I mean, you can't get no.
I was gonna say that kind of goes back to what I said way earlier episode, like that place, that land. I forgot which episode it was. Like the massive amounts of energy, it would relate to this island specifically. 'Cause you're talking.
What?
I mean, he's not wrong, but
No,
that was
I
kind of
remember-
random. We never talked about Auschwitz on this program.
That's not what I was referring to. It was
Were you
an
talking
earlier
about Gettysburg? Because we talked about Gettysburg 2 weeks ago.
No, like,
But
it
no,
was an
he's
old
like
episode.
an old episode. Like we talked about like something. We talked about stuff like this, and I know we did bring up
yeah, like energy, like at that
energies and
place,
stuff like that.
everything
He's
that
absolutely
gets
right.
You're right.
collected.
Okay,
But
try
was it
to-
about Auschwitz specifically?
I know, but try to ease that in. You can't just scream out Auschwitz.
Yeah, you just can't go balls
That's-
deep on Auschwitz, dude. You gotta,
Yeah, that's
you
wrong.
gotta like warn a motherfucker first before you just
that was
bring
a
out the
little
Auschwitz.
hard, you know.
You gotta lube us up first, a little foreplay before you whip out the Auschwitz.
I was just referring to
I was
that.
thinking,
I
and then
said
it just came to me.
no. I was thinking
Filter.
I was thinking of an old episode where I had mentioned the same thing, that it's positive because there's actual instances out there of like there's energy coming from the planet. The planet is living in its own way.
Yes.
We ourselves are energy because we're living in our own way.
Yes.
So the old scientific thing is like matter can't be destroyed or anything like that.
Energy.
It only
That's the
gets
law of thermodynamics. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It only
it just
transfers.
gets transferred.
Correct.
So if you think of it in a scientific matter, then it's like, yeah, people who got killed there, their energy is going to carry on in that place.
Did Joshua just scientifically prove ghosts?
It's a theory because we can't prove it. That's the problem.
That's it.
Until we
Hold on. No, that's bullshit.
No. Until we.
So
I'll
how is
tell
it
you
a
what.
scientific law
What?
that's that energy can neither be destroyed nor created, but
You want me?
It only transfers.
it only transfers?
I'll tell you why.
Yes,
because
'cause
until
our
we can
energy-
capture a ghost
Yeah.
and run experiments on it, it is only theory.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely talk about that when it comes to stuff like water or an ice cube or whatever the fuck. You can sit there.
No, I thought it was a ghost. I'm about to shit myself.
No. You like there are things
Al Capone
that
himself. Yeah, I see.
there are things that we can experiment
Hey.
on that we like. Okay, matter is not created or destroyed; it's transferred.
Yeah.
But when it comes to something like ghosts, if they exist, we don't know how to capture and experiment them yet. Until
Yeah,
that
we-
technology is created,
Yeah, we
that's why
can't-
ghosts is such a hot button issue. Like, it's just a theory
Yeah.
because there's evidence, a lot of evidence to support it, but we have no way of experimenting.
Yeah.
It is
the
strictly
reason,
observation.
Yeah, the reason why I said it scientifically is because when we die, our energy is being fed into the planet. Like our body, everything we had is getting fed into that. So it's like there's what is it? There's I guess you could say it's a theory. I don't know if it's proven or whatnot, but like the moment that someone passes, the heightened emotions that you experience could transfer because your body's in a heightened state. Your body's like energy is
Well, for
through the
tragic
roof.
places.
Yeah, for tragic places. I mean, Alcatraz is a tragic fucking place. There was prisoners there.
If someone like if a peaceful prisoner just dies in bed, like there's nothing tragic that happened in that man's life. He's in prison. But
It's still tragic because like you have wrongly imprisoned people being sent there. Like somehow there were frames or something. You got to think about their.
I don't think Alcatraz is where the wrongly was.
There's a possibility. There's a possibility.
There's always a possibility.
There's always a
I think
possibility.
Joey's like on. I would.
But there's that
everyone's
that
probably
heightened emotions that people have, no matter if they were innocent or they were guilty. Like they're there. They're fucking angry. It's like I just said before. It's like teasing a fucking dog with a piece of meat right in front of them, and they're chained to something else. All those heightened emotions, you're gonna have them consistently, like to the point where
they're gonna be pissed off that they could see freedom, but they're not there.
Exactly. Sure. That goes for all of the prisoners there. Like even the evil ones who get away with murder but are still fucking there on the island. You know, that type of stuff. All of that mass collected, that's just gonna be nothing but negative fucking energy.
That's why I think it's such an evil place. You look at it, it's just foreboding. It's daunting.
Well, I mean, now it looks old.
Now it's old, right? But even then, it's like you don't want to go there.
Yeah.
All
you
the place.
only
Put me
get
anywhere else. Don't put me in Alcatraz.
Well, because you also
get
know that
the
they
vibes from it.
But you
like
also
transfers.
you also know that they only put the hideous people on that island too. It's not like, oh, you stole the candy bar, you're going to Alcatraz. You know, they didn't send those people there.
All right, talk about exaggeration. Jesus.
No, but that's what I'm saying though. Like they did. Like I understand this could be like there could be people there that could be sentenced but not really guilty. Yeah. There could have been a thing there, but the people that they did send there, like the Al Capones or the Whitey Bulgers, like
those
these
guys,
people, they murdered people.
Well, Bulger murdered people, and he was sent there for that. But do anybody in this booth know why Al Capone was sent to Alcatraz?
Well, because he's Al Capone.
Tax evasion?
It was tax evasion. They couldn't get him on anything else.
That's right.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, this guy literally murdered in the streets of Chicago like it was nothing. But they figured, you know what? While we got him,
might as well
make
put him
serve the time on the rock.
There's a great moment in one of the it's from the Batman cartoons, and like the Joker got millions and millions of dollars, and like he had to hire an accountant, and someone asked him like, why you're a supervillain? He's like, I might be crazy, but I'm not going up against the IRS.
All right.
It's like Justice, like those people are really scary.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, we're gonna take a short break.
And then we got pictures.
And we got pictures, and we have maybe 1 or 2 videos. I don't know if we can come up with another video, but we're gonna go through some pictures and a couple videos and see what if you guys see anything.
If you're listening in your car, now's the time to pull over and bring us up on YouTube.
And then we're gonna end the episode, and then we're gonna, and like we usually do. So we'll be right back. Fuck you, Anthony.
Hey everybody, I'm JC3.
And I'm Mr. West.
And this episode is brought to you by Dubby. Made by professionals in the USA, Dubby was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. Their formula contains vitamins, amino acids, including the patented Neurofactor. You know what Dubby doesn't give you?
What's that?
No calories, no sugars, no fillers, and no artificial flavors. When the raw ingredients arrive to their FDA-registered and inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP guidelines, they undergo a quarantine while a small sample of each ingredient is taken to test for any impurities, while also being tested to ensure that the ingredients are actually what they are supposed to be and have the proper dosage.
And once the ingredients pass all the tests, then they're cleared to get mixed into the formula. So head on over to dubby.gg and use our offer code IsThisRealPC for 10% off your first order. That's DUBBY.GG and use the code IsThisRealPC for 10% off. They have great flavors such as Galaxy Grenade, Dub Sludge, Passion Joy Tea, Monkey Madness, and Dragonade. My personal favorites.
Dragonade's right here. I got Dragonade right here. Delicious.
Drink Dubby
and be better.
These products are not intended to diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease.
If you liked this video today, please click the like and subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification icon to keep up with all our videos.
Who wants better sex? And who wants better sex starting now? The best way to get started is go to adamandeve.com.
Adam and Eve is offering 50% off just any item.
But that's not all. When you select your one item, you will also get 3 bonus items. That includes a gift for him, a special gift for her, and a gift you'll both like.
Plus 6 free movies for your viewing pleasure and free shipping.
There is discreet shipping as your privacy is priority. Plus 100% free shipping on your entire order.
Doesn't matter how much you spend or what you buy, it will all be packaged and sent discreetly for free.
Don't wait. Better sex is just one click away.
That's 50% off one item, 3 free gifts, 6 free movies, and free shipping.
Bring more pleasure and satisfaction to your bedroom.
Just go to adamandeve.com and select any one item. It could be an adventurous new toy or anything you desire.
Just enter code QUESTION at checkout.
That's question, QUESTION at adamandeve.com.
This exclusive offer is specific to this podcast only. So be sure at checkout you punch in the code QUESTION. That is QUESTION at checkout. And get your 50% off one item, 10 free gifts, and free shipping. Remember, use code QUESTION. Also remember to listen to Is This Real every Sunday at 8 o'clock with new episodes starting July 16th. Remember, everybody, question everything and put that question at the end of your checkout.
At adamandeve.com.
And welcome back. See, I'm gonna do it now just to fucking piss you off. Now, we are back to our Alcatraz episode. Unfortunately, Big Joe had to tap out. He's having some stomach rumblies. He no likes it. So we are bringing Anthony over to the table, and unfortunately, he's already been Muay Thai'd because he's a fucking creep. But our episode tonight is
Maybe we
brought
can put that as like a bonus feature online.
But our episode is brought to you by W Energy Drinks. Go to w.gg, punch in the code IsThisRealPC, all one word, to get your 10% off all your W products. Mr. West had a W today. That's why he Muay Thai'd Anthony.
That's right, folks.
Is This Real is also brought to you by the good folks over at BetterHelp.com. BetterHelp.com is an online website where you can go and sign up if you need someone to speak to in terms of counseling or therapy. They will match you with a specialist. They will match you with somebody who is specialized in your field of what you're looking for, be it family issues, if it's marital issues, if it's transitioning from one part of your life into the next, you're not sure where to do. Addictions issues. They will match you with somebody who understands your needs and can help you. And if you use our link, betterhelp.com/question, QUESTION, you'll save some money as well. And I mean, we could all save some money, and we definitely can benefit by talking to somebody. BetterHelp.com/question. Sign up and get better help.
And as you've also heard twice on this episode, we're also sponsored by adamandeve.com. Use the code QUESTION, you get some special toys, and I believe it's 40% off all of your one special toy, and a box full of, you called a shiny?
I just found one.
Okay, right in the middle of my sponsor. Cool. And
What happens when you use the code?
You get a box that has special presents in it. A special present for you, a special present for her, and a special present for the both of you. You get free shipping.
Yep.
You get
discreet shipping too.
Discreet shipping, and you also get 40% off one item.
Yep.
Can you choose non-discreet shipping?
You want it in the shape
people
of a
to
dick?
know?
No, I just think it'd be hilarious. It's like fucking sex toy on the box.
Oh, also, you also get 6
It's just
free.
a sex toy. It's just a sex.
Just big as hell.
You also get
It's just
6.
sex.
You also get 6 free movies.
Yeah, they just throw 6 random things in the box.
Yes, it is such a
I don't
good
know
thing.
if you need a DVD player or if it's like a streaming thing. Here's your code type
It's
of thing.
probably a streaming thing.
I would hope so. I've been trying to find a good copy of
It's
System Suck
probably
Off for years.
it's probably from your server. Anyway, we're gonna continue to get back into this episode as
I
we
do
talk.
love me some Ebony Vids.
Hold on. Do you punch
you-
the code
clearly
in
you
at
don't
checkout?
Yes,
Or-
you punch the
System
code
Suck
in.
Off is great.
Shut up
Okay.
So you punch the code in at
at checkout. Yes,
folks.
the code is question. Eric, do it.
QUESTION.
He makes it into like a little ringtone, like QUESTION. All right, so we have a couple pictures into this episode.
High five.
It's been a week.
I'm gonna make you a Pokemon shirt. Now it's gonna look awesome. It's gonna say Wes, use Muay Thai, and it's gonna be Anthony on the other side. That's gonna be funny.
You can look like Hitmo-chan.
Yeah. We have a couple
would be
pictures
Hitmonwest,
of Jesus, we're never gonna get through
Hitmon
this.
West.
Hitmon West.
We're gonna show you a couple pictures and a couple videos from this Alcatraz. So let's do a couple of the photos right now. Let's bring up AL3.
Yep. I'm looking at a dirty window.
West.
This picture. What do you see in this
fuck,
picture,
man.
Wes?
Oh my god, dude. Just
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Right there.
It was
Turn the
amazing.
porn off.
What do you see?
it looks like the upper.
Left window, a face, right?
Well, yeah, kind of. Well, from here.
Oh, the panel.
Yeah.
The whole bottom.
And the right has a shoulder.
Yeah, it looks like that's what I'm saying.
Like
It
a
looks
left
shoulder.
left shoulder, and then it goes up to a head. You see the eyes. You see the nose right
It looks
there.
like a woman.
No, that looks like a man to me.
I don't see anything. I'm being honest. It looks like a dirty window. to
And
me.
I just see like a gaped mouth. It's like a, that.
No.
type of
You know
thing.
what's fucked up? I saw absolutely nothing, but as you described it,
It started.
It appeared right there. I was like, what the fuck?
See, it's that one of those things. It's like, is something there, or is somebody, or are you being influenced to think something is there because someone else is saying something's there?
No, man.
Well, to be honest, with my left eye, I kind of have to like really, really focus. So as he described it, I guess I kind of,
I don't know about that.
All right, so I'm gonna put up the photo. Obviously, you people are, everyone out there, except for the people in podcast land, are seeing the photo. Please comment of what you see in this photo. All right, let's do the next photo. Let's do AL4. What do you guys see in this one?
All right, this one is the top of the stairs. I see a nun.
It looks like it looks like a woman.
Do we have any sort of thing like, were there nuns on Alcatraz?
I'm pretty sure this was.
I mean, it did have I believe it had a chapel.
could have been nurses too.
It could have been an old-time nurse. I believe it had a chapel in it. And I think why wouldn't there be a nun if there's a chapel?
Well, I'm thinking like this is the worst place on earth
I
for
was
the
gonna
worst
say,
people.
If it's a chapel, it would probably be a priest. I don't think a nun.
I don't think you would put. Yeah, it says there was no female correctional officers or prisoners on Alcatraz. Like, I don't know why there would even let's put a nun there. It's like she's gonna get raped. Let's not do that because these are they don't care. They're there in prison. They don't give a fuck. Let's not do that. Although it looks like from this picture,
West, you try to hold your happiness because he said they're gonna get raped and you went, let's go. It doesn't look good. Timing.
it looks like someone's dressing like a
My
white.
bad, folks. I was shiny hunting. I'm shiny hunting.
It looks like somebody's
I've
at the
been
top of the
hunting
stairs
for a week.
wearing this sort of white gown, but I also see a white habit on their head.
Yeah, I see that too.
So yeah, it does. It looks like a nun, but I can't
Nun?
find anything.
Is that the general consensus in
that there was ever a nun on Alcatraz?
general consensus? And you see the habits up here. The face is kind of right here. and
yeah. I
here.
got nothing.
I mean, were there any? I don't know. Anybody that wore maybe a monk? Could it be a monk?
No,
It's San
I-
Francisco. It's California.
Yeah,
but
but
you're talking about
Alcatraz?
you're talking about the 40s, dude. It wasn't as
there's
They weren't
nothing.
open
there
like that.
was-
They're like, well,
there was
they
nothing
would've
like
said
that.
something.
All right.
It
It
Calm down,
should have been a
motherfuckers.
priest, most likely, but
Yeah,
All right.
it looks feminine.
All right, let's go to AL5 then. This one, I don't know. I don't see really anything in this one. They're circling a door, I think it is.
Yeah, it looks like a dirty door.
and it looks. I'm guessing they're trying to say that you see right here's the head, shoulders, arm,
That's just
body.
Like, nah.
But it's a very blurry photo.
Yeah, it looks fake.
Now again, I don't have any backstories to any of these photos. There's not really any of them there. It's not like someone put up like, "Hey, this was me in Alcatraz." You know.
Well, you have one for one photo.
One, and we have a reader story for one photo. And
but
we'll
this
get
looks
to that
like a
later.
door that's just painted, fucked up.
No,
Weather
not that one. Not that one. Let's go to AO. I want to do that one last too. Let's do AO1.
I got nothing here except for this weird little mist.
That looks like a bat sprinkler. Or like
I don't
leaky
think,
pipe.
but like they're saying,
Like, it will-
if I'm
Yeah.
reading this correctly, they're not saying that the mist is up there. But what I'm looking at, to me, it looks like a flashlight. It looks like light.
a source of light.
Yeah, like
Well,
you see,
I got one spookier for you. It looks like a source of light that's being obstructed by the shadow.
Yeah, by a shadow. Yeah.
Like right here, looks like this shadowed area is piercing.
But if you also
The
look
light.
towards the, well, no, that's light. If you look towards the bottom,
Yeah.
where everything gets brighter on the other half of the page,
Yeah.
that looks like light. Because if you look on the left side, it looks like a shadow, and that looks like a screen door that the light is going through on the ground.
Yeah, it could be. Like this is one of those pictures. It's like I see something,
See,
but I
that
don't
looks
see-
like a head and then shoulders, and I guess that
Yeah.
could be an arm.
I
but-
think you're like reaching. Dude.
Yeah, I see.
I'm not
nothing.
reaching. I'm saying that they're reaching.
I see nothing.
Well, no,
That's
yeah,
it.
like well, I mean, I don't see anything in this.
Dust mites.
Yeah, I see
What?
nothing.
Dust
floor.
mites?
See, the only
Dust
way
mites.
this makes sense to me is if this shadow that's blocking out the light was taken right. If there was a ghost standing right in front of the camera, like it's so far in the foreground, it looks like it's not in the foreground.
Yeah.
And we're taking a picture through the ghost, then I can see this being a shot, this being a head, this being an arm, but it's just not consistent enough.
All right, let's go to AL7 then. The one that looks like Thomas the Choo Choo Train's death area.
I mean, it looks like a steam room of some sort or a boiler room.
From what they circled, if I'm gonna guess what the ghost is in this, would be the thing that the white dot with the eyes
I don't see any eyes.
above it. It looks like a mask. It looks like a face right there. Like this is. It looks like it's wearing a superhero mask,
I don't see anything
like
here.
a luchador mask.
The only thing I could see this being that is somebody circled this and like this is the door that opens on its own.
Do you
You
see
know what I
that?
mean?
Do you see what I'm talking about?
I only really see a lightly shaded.
Yeah, like this right
Circle
here.
area.
This is the eye. This is another eye. It looks like
No.
a face right
I don't
there.
see a face at all. I see.
I mean,
like,
that's too.
Like to me, like
That's too
okay,
Ghostbusters.
dude, you're right, but what I'm looking at, like I'm making fun at this point. Like this right here, eye, and this looks like this up here. This little white part right here doesn't look like zombie Captain America.
oh dear God,
Oh Jesus!
I'm making a joke here. Calm the fuck down.
not a good one. So I don't think this is good. I don't
You know
think
what?
this
Fuck
is-
you. All right, refrigerator fucker. Let's go to AL6. This one fucked me up.
This one I pooped a little.
Now, if you're not noticing on your screen right here, and you're like, where's the ghost? It's down the hallway. No, look to the right.
It's right here, and this is distinct. Like I see, it kind of looks like Tobin Bell, the guy from Saw movies. It's like I got two eyes. I see the bridge of a nose. I see a mouth. I see a chin.
There's
Hair.
A
There's
hairline.
there's
Like, I
vivid-
could see
there's vivid features on this one.
And I could see like the pupil in the eye. I could see the whites around the
I
eye.
mean, it's a little much. I see like a shirt collar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it looks like he's wearing a jacket. Like this is
You know what that?
distinct.
You know what that looks like?
Michael
in-
Jackson.
Okay. First of all, that's fucked
Could
up.
have been one of the officers that was killed.
No, you know what it looks like? You know, in like certain like horror movies or stuff, like try to do, or the playful scary movies where they try to do like a skull out of like, you know, thin air.
Oh yeah.
Like it like pops up
Sure.
and then disappears. It's kind of what it looks like.
It's I'm like
It's like a skull.
Skeletor.
like this could I mean obviously any of these could be photoshopped, you know, and they could all be fake.
Yeah, I mean, you
This
could,
one's like if
I don't
they
know.
fake this one, they put effort into it.
Like
You
a
know
lot
what
of
I mean?
effort because of the graininess of the photo alone.
Yeah.
Like in the depth of the like you have, and I mean,
It's like perfectly blended in there.
yeah, it's not even that. Like if you look at the ocular, whatever the fuck from the light, the shine from the light looks like the sun.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of stops around its head.
Yep.
And it's not like it's going through or anything like that.
Yep.
Like over here, you have different color of the
Well,
wall.
that's the other thing, like that you have the light bouncing off, like you're obviously looking towards a light source, right? In the center of the photograph.
But you also, I'm
There's
sorry
like
to cut
light
you off.
shining
Dude,
off the side of the head. Like it's
look
reflecting.
towards the bottom, and you get
Could be
more
an actual
features.
person.
Like I see a hand right here, and what fucks me up a little bit more is that even though you have that, you have the light going through the body, and you also you can also see what's on the other side when you go deeper down into the
Yeah,
person's
you can
photo.
see through it. It fades in.
Yeah, like
if this is a fake photograph, if this is a fake photograph,
This is a good fake.
it's a very good fake. Like someone sat here and took the time, because like even when you zoom in, it looks like the
It's still-
pixels.
They're still
I
consistent.
feel
kind of want to do
natural
more
and
research
consistent.
about it and like see like if like just this photo, if anybody knows who that was, if it was
Yeah.
a guard that died, if it was a prisoner that died, because obviously you could see distinct features.
Sure.
So if you see distinct features, from the amount of people that were there, you can go through the list and be like, kind of match up features of somebody.
Yeah, it's like
Be
that. That upper lip looks a little pronounced, but I'm like, it could be a mustache too. You know what I mean? Like I can't tell what
I
that
can
is.
see what you're saying right there. I can see the nose and everything. You
Yeah, I
can
definitely
even
see like the bridge of a nose.
and the more fucked up part, you see like it looks like the shadow of the nose onto the face on the other side. Like that's what fucks me up.
And like it clearly, it's like it doesn't look happy.
No, it looks pale. Like
it looks like
it's
it's about
dead.
to drop a slur. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing in my hallway? It just looks like it shouldn't be there, and it doesn't want you there.
Oh, we have to. Okay, whatever. Okay, Anthony. See, sometimes you just ruin things.
I don't know. What
Oh,
you
it's
mean.
kind of like an old white lady on a plane denying someone a seat because they believe they shouldn't be in business class.
Okay.
Okay. The next photo we have is the one of the truck. And I think there's one more after that, but the next photo we have is the one of the truck. This goes to a reader story on this one website. It's legendsofamerica.com. Not sponsored, by the way. About their Alcatraz ghosts. Do we have to say not sponsored every time we mention the source?
Yes.
Okay, cool. This lady turned around and said, myself, my daughter, and her college friend toured Alcatraz in July. The attached photo was taken with a photo camera from my daughter's friend. She refused to keep it on her phone. If you look closely, a woman is sitting in the driver's seat of the truck. When this picture was taken, there was no one in that truck.
Did she say a woman?
A woman is sitting in the driver's seat of the truck.
See, that's why I call bullshit on this. Like, there were no women on Alcatraz. Period. Where the fuck? It's like, if this car is on Alcatraz, then this car has been haunted since before it went to Alcatraz. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only
I don't
explanation.
fucking tell me. Like,
I'm just saying. Plus, like, I'm seeing glasses. It looks like it's wearing a t-shirt and a jacket
hold
over it.
on.
Kind of a modern haircut.
Can I finish the fucking story?
I think it's shit.
Right? Fucking gap-faced motherfucker. I know because I love classic cars and trucks. And I was waiting for my turn to take a photo. I was off to the rear left of the truck. There was a mother and daughter off directly to the left of the truck, and my daughter had gone ahead. The truck was a display, and I believe it belonged to one of the wardens. Can you tell me, did you even hear of there being any female ghosts on Alcatraz? That she asked. This photo shook me and my daughter and her friend pretty bad. Any info would be greatly appreciated. And then she enlarged the photo. Nothing was returned from her or anything like that. Like, nobody got back to her in any comments. They just kind of left it there and said, fuck you.
Well, that's because, like, we have records of who was on Alcatraz at any given moment. And as far as I know, as far as I've looked, there have never been any woman who ever been... There's never been an X chromosome on Alcatraz. Okay?
You're right, but I don't know why that sounded so wrong.
Like, it's a feminism-free place.
This almost sounded racist.
This was like...
yeah, right?
Some way, shape, or form, that was just all wrong.
I think the word you're all searching for is sexist, but that's okay.
No, that sounded
No.
racist coming from you.
It was an ist of some point. You know, like racist,
I
sexist.
hit some sort of ism.
Yeah, like...
No, I just, like, it's the truth, though. Like, it was a place that housed evil men. The operative word there being men. This is the 30s and the 60s.
Did you just assume their gender?
They didn't identify as anything else.
How the fuck do you know?
Even if they did, the courts didn't give a fuck.
They didn't believe in that shit.
Exactly.
See?
This is the 50s we're talking about. You
See?
can identify as a toaster. I'm not gonna fuck you. You can identify as a toaster. You're going to Alcatraz. You murdered 7 people with a claw hammer. You're going to Alcatraz, ma'am.
Why did you have to put in "I'm not gonna fuck you" at the end of toaster?
Because
Be a toaster fucker.
he just admits that he fucks toasters. He's not going to fuck that particular toaster
I mean, they are very warm.
because it murdered somebody.
I mean, listen, I always say I want consent and I
Okay.
want a pulse, but warmth and wet is like there's
Shut
second on
up.
the list.
Shut the fuck
I don't need
up.
those things, but
Shut
I really like them.
Shut the fuck up. Anywho, we have a video, and I think the last photo I have is a screenshot from that video.
Yeah.
So this video right here, Anthony, I'll let you take this video. You're the one who brought it.
I will. As soon as see Dad close the video.
Ha! Fuck you. So I'll take care. So this video, apparently, a couple claim to have snapped pic of Alcatraz ghost. This is a news clipping from what?
I don't fucking care.
Channel 4 somewhere. I think it's the West. And apparently, this couple decided to take. I think it's a video.
From KRON4.com. This was posted July 18th, 2014. And it's this couple. And he's wearing an ugly hat, and she's got weird bangs, and they're both wearing like headphones.
You don't need to describe them.
I'm describing for the people at home. Okay, now we see the prison,
I wasn't.
and now we
describing,
see
that was
an empty cell, and then it just morphs, and now we see someone standing in the cell,
That looks like a woman.
and then it goes back to the other
Hold on.
picture of the
Pause on the
It
person.
does. Whoever this person is or was looks very feminine.
It looks like like I see earrings, long
I don't,
hair.
No, that's not earrings. I see long hair.
Dude, the white around the ears, you don't say that as earrings?
It could just be a spot with no hair, like right along the neckline. It's clear.
It would look the same color as the face.
I don't think it's earrings, Joe. Like they wouldn't give a prisoner, even if it wasn't a woman. Even if it was a woman, let's say they had one woman on Alcatraz, they wouldn't let her have fucking earrings.
Why not?
Because it's a prison, Joe. You're not allowed to walk around with a watch and earrings and septum piercings, dickhead. They take those things from you.
Why? Because the prisoners are gonna steal them?
No,
And sell
because
them
you
where?
could use them as a fucking weapon, or you could use them to unhinge your fucking your cuffs and shit.
Who's using a fucking earring as a weapon? You gonna stab me with the little thing there? It's not gonna do
Let
anything.
me walk up to it with an earring and let me stab you in the fucking eye and see how you'll be blinking out of it tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, listen to the girl. She knows.
I have earrings, you don't. Fuck you.
I don't need to have earrings to know that they're sharp and pointy.
Anywho.
They're not allowed to have fucking earrings in prison.
Well, how do they know we're allowing the woman, if she was on here, to be allowed near the prisoners?
First of all, no women were on Alcatraz.
As you know of.
As the records show, it's not my opinion that there was no. I am going based off the records that we have of the people in and out of Alcatraz that have been here for 70 fucking years. We don't have women on Alcatraz.
We are recording. Alcatraz, my God.
So we know that there were no.
Bitch, I'm asking a question.
I know
We
we're
know
in the
that there
middle
was
of
no women
recording
in
now.
Alcatraz.
Well, then say it the fuck out.
So we know that there
Get the
weren't
fuck
any
out.
women. I'm not saying that this person, this ghost, if it is a ghost, does look feminine. I will say that. But I can't sit there and say that
The
it's the
face fucks me up.
secretary.
You know why the face fucks me up?
Because it's distorted in shadow.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it has a really big forehead.
Sure, let's go with
but
that.
what I'm saying, look,
It could
like-
be a guy with long hair.
but look, like if you're looking at this, like the forehead extends past the face, the lower part of the face. That's what I see. Kind of like has this little curve in it.
I don't
It's
see
very
that.
distorted.
Listen,
You don't see anything I see.
I just well, two different
Shut
people
the
looking
fuck
at
up.
shit. Listen, I think anytime you take a picture of an empty room and then you go back and you look through your phone, or in this case, a camera or some whatever device you used, you're gonna shit your pants if you all of a sudden see someone standing there. Especially when it's someone whose features you can't really make out, because it's a fucking. You should be able to take a picture that distance and make out that person very clearly. And that's not clearly. It's distorted. That's the creepy factor. Like someone's there, A, shouldn't be there, and B, it's not clear. It's not even in color. It's in black and fucking white, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it's really it's one of I don't know, like some of the photos. Like I want to believe, that this place is haunted because of its history. There's not a lot of evidence to support it, though.
No, I disagree. I think there's a lot of evidence to support it. It's just that there's not a lot of photographic evidence
That's
or
evidence.
video evidence.
No. That's evidence. Period. Because you could whatever somebody says, that's just testimony.
There's testimony, but
that's not evidence.
No, testimonial evidence is still evidence. It's someone's firsthand account. Now, granted, it is up to you to disprove that, and that's what people like Taps do. Is like, oh, you're hearing noises. That's evidence. Okay, let's go in there and make sure that evidence is clear or not. Oh, what you actually heard was a rat in the wall. It wasn't a ghost scratching.
It's just stories.
It's a story. It's a testimony.
Evidence.
It is evidence.
It is not evidence.
It's evidence until you can disprove it.
Is that evidence? Because I always hear it's hearsay. If it's hearsay, then that's not
hearsay
evidence.
is different. Hearsay is me repeating a story that I heard from someone else. That's hearsay. This is a first-hand experience.
A first-hand account.
A first-hand account. That is you look at that as testimony until someone goes in there and says, okay, this is what you're claiming, and this is the logical thing I found, that you're saying this is what you're hearing, but this is what it actually is. It is not disproven.
It's evidence until it's proven otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't find that as evidence, because you could sit there and have a case full of things that are just people saying that it happened, and there's nothing hardcore saying, oh, look, that happened.
No, you're right.
They're not going to convict the person of somebody saying
You're
that.
absolutely right. But then you have people you have different people, never met each other, who can testify that they had experiences in a place, the same place, like cell block D14 or 12. You have many different psychics who said, I feel something here. You have history there of someone who allegedly was strangled in that cell. You have other people who oh yeah, I went in that cell and it was cold for, you have random tourists who go, this is not an okay place. I don't feel comfortable here. All of that is evidence to say that there's something going on here. We don't know what it is, but these are not people just coming up with stories just to come up with them. These are independent variables.
I'm not saying that they are coming up with stories to just come up with them. Unfortunately, again, when it comes to hauntings, as we've already said in previous episodes, there's never going to be a concrete proof of, unless you chain a ghost by the hand and be like, tell me you're a fucking ghost. Like, you're never going to have somebody say, like, oh, look, ghosts exist and we have pure proof.
Can you chain me up? I'll tell you I'm a ghost.
Of a haunting, like it's not a thing. Like people are always gonna sit there and go, you could literally have someone on a recording. You could have me, you, all four of us talking, and you'll hear a little girl in the background. I know we have a little girl in the booth now, but that's not what I mean. But you could hear a little girl in the background. Shut up.
You could have recording in my basement. So
you could have a little girl in the background.
He snitched on himself. He snitched on himself. He just snitched on himself.
And you could tell that.
Get him, FBI. Get him.
Everyone knows that there's never a little girl in the booth, and if you hear a haunting little girl in the booth, and they'll be like, look, that was none of us. Who can it be? Someone's always gonna be like, it could have been just something.
You're right. Someone could do that.
It was just the wind.
And then at the same token, if you were sitting down here editing and you kept hearing a little girl and you kept saying, I heard this noise, and then independently I had the same experience, we're both experiencing the same phenomenon, that's evidence to say something is not right here. There is something afoul. We don't know what it is. Now, if Roblox comes in here and goes, guys, you're hearing a little girl, but it's actually, I don't know, a tree scratching on the window, that's the noise you're hearing, then we go, oh fuck, okay, it wasn't a little girl. But if you have a bunch of people, independent variables coming and going, we're all experiencing the same thing, that's all evidence. It's evidence until you can disprove it.
All right.
It's probably one of these fucking M&M dolls coming to life. It's like Toy Story.
You could buy them. Buy them. $1,000 can be the whole fucking thing.
That would be the thing. If one of these battery operated M&Ms for some reason had a short in it and started making noise, we're all hearing it. Oh, it was the M&M that's fucked up. Replace the batteries and won't make the noise.
Okay.
You know what? If we had a smoke detector in here and it was chirping, but we were like, I heard a bird in here. I heard a bird. You heard a bird. He heard a bird. And then Robot goes, assholes, change the battery in your smoke detector. Oh, no bird.
I would do that.
Yeah, at that point, you're like, oh, there's no bird.
Isn't the reason why you don't have like a bird or a parrot because they keep on saying nasty things?
I'm afraid they might
Might tell the FBI. Call the FBI. I want out.
The police are in my house. Like, check behind the bookcase, Frank.
All right.
Go in the garage, Frank.
Do we have anything else for Alcatraz tonight? I know there's a couple other ghost stories.
Her name was Penelope, Frank.
There's a lot of stories that we could read through as far as Alcatraz ghost stories. We'd be here all fucking night.
Sure, it's.
Does anybody have anything else to add to tonight's episode?
I'm good with this.
Wes?
No, I mean,
There was great whites in the San Francisco Bay.
yeah. Okay. Great. Wes.
I mean, there could be final thoughts. But
Yeah. No, I know.
there's
I know.
nothing to really add to
I think
it.
we covered
All right.
the
So,
gist.
Tony,
Yeah.
do you believe that Alcatraz is haunted?
I think it is. And like I said at the beginning of the episode, I think it's an evil place. Evil men who committed crimes.
Evil crimes.
Evil crimes, vicious crimes, brutal crimes were sentenced there. People died there. Both people who committed crimes and people who didn't. Like guards were killed there. Like we know that they died. We know blood has been shed on this place.
We know they died.
We know that it's a foreboding place. I think there's an evil energy there. And I don't know about this. There's a ghost or a demon that's haunting cell block D14. I can't allude to that. All I know is the motherfucker Epsteined himself, and we don't know the truth behind it.
That should not be a verb.
I think it's like it's an evil place that housed evil men, and they left that stain on that island. What it was prior to that, though, I have no idea. Like we talked about the history, and the Native Americans would send people there as punishment. Okay, fine, but I don't know enough of that to say that adds to it. I just think it's haunted, and it's evil.
All right, Wes.
Do I believe it's haunted? I believe that there are ghosts and there are negative spirits in this island, just given through the history of it and how much negative things have happened there. Yeah.
Okay.
I found the shiny. It's a shiny whirlpool.
Roadblock.
I mean, I'm happy for you. Shinies are rare, but come on, Eric.
It's a whirlpool. It's purple. It's long. It's hard.
All right, punch him, Muay Thai him.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Please, oh
Roadblock?
My God. I could definitely say I could believe that it's kind of haunted.
The man who doesn't believe in God believes in ghosts.
I said kind
Energy.
of haunted.
I know. I'm fucking with you.
Because for me, I'm always viewing it as a scientific thing. Like the energy transferred there could have been from thousands of evil men, malicious intent, the fucking, I guess you could say, jealousy or hatred of like the outside world being right there within reach, but there's no fucking possible way you can actually live through it. So it's like all that builds up and then dies with the people who have died there. It's all that fucking malicious animosity, like whatever you want to call it, just builds up over time. And then to think of what the natives did or what their intentions was.
Again,
what
those are stories too.
Yeah, stories of like what they believed might have been on that island or what they did by sending people there to punish them and stuff like that. Like you're talking about centuries of build up of just shit happening, whether it be good, bad,
those
evil.
Native American things predated 1800s.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
terrifying.
Like you're talking about fucking, oh God, how many, what is it, centuries, right?
About three centuries.
Yeah, like 3 centuries built up of just,
Well, 2 and a couple. I mean, depending on how far back the native stories go.
yeah,
But
just
2
pure
more.
anger, hatred, like all that shit, negative energy and stuff like that.
Oh no, yeah, it's fucked up.
Just being poured onto that one island. And like if anything could happen, it probably would happen there, I would say, to be honest. So I could believe it to be haunted if all that shit is just exuding from the ground, you know?
All right. I mean, for me, I do believe, especially because I believe in any place that has just tragedy and like a lot of tragedy and a lot of like torment, a lot of pain, there's gonna be some bad energy there. It's the most fucked up. Like, I have very weird beliefs. I do believe in bad energy, and bad energy can sit there and attach itself to a place, to land specifically. And I do believe if you sit there and build something on it, it will be haunted. It can sit there and have just a weird, creepy feel, and just a weird, creepy feel adds to the stories, because you're gonna be thinking, you know, the stories. Like, if you go into a haunted house and you don't know it's haunted, you're gonna go in there, you're gonna stroll in there like you own the fucking place. Nothing in the world's gonna bother you until you hear, like, if you hear creepy little things, you're like, ugh, the house is settling. But if you go into a place and you know that it's haunted, you know these stories, any little noise, like a fucking ghost is moving, I know it. Like, he's dragging his dick across the board on top, I know it. Like, you know.
I guess that's scary.
Like, you know.
I guess that's real scary for you.
A ghost with a 4-foot cock?
That's your fear?
I think anything with a 4-foot cock is enough to be afraid of.
Not a fear, that's just fantasy. But, like, you know, like, literally anything.
Not confirming nor denying it. You staying quiet. I'm going to take the silence is loud right now, Tony. The silence is loud.
It's deafening.
Okay, me and Anthony have gone to haunted houses, and we've done ghost hunts. You know, from little ghost hunts that we know, like, okay, we've had stories before we go in there. You two have never really gone ghost hunting per se, and you don't want to.
Nope.
Yeah, you want to know why? Because I believe in you fuck around and find out.
Yeah, but I have a question, though. If you went into a haunted house and you know, like, okay, things have been caught here that are unexplainable, every little noise, you're going to be just trying to disprove it, or you're going to sit there like, that's something that was reported as a ghost?
Well, it's going to be really tough because psychologically, I already know exactly. I already know what I'm walking into, and it's going to be really tough to not feed into the fear of that shit.
Exactly. You know, you on the same boat with that, Roblox?
Yeah, at that point, it's going to be psychological. To me, because
that's the big thing for me also. Like, I'm not saying that every little thing, every little these details or pictures that we saw are like ghosts, because again, I'm not stupid too. Like, not everything is going to be a ghost. Could there be ghosts there? Absolutely. I'm not going to deny the fact that there could be ghosts there, because again, something tragic happened there. Over, like you said, centuries of tragedy have been there. Yeah. You know, so again, it's something I definitely could believe it could be haunted. I want to believe it's haunted because of the bad energy there. But so the consensus is haunted.
I think so.
So we have to call ghost hunters. They said not haunted in their episode. No, they did. They're like, it's not haunted. Well, fuck you guys. We said it's haunted. We weren't there.
Never been there.
Somebody about to fact check your ass.
And I'm never gonna fucking go.
You want to go to Alcatraz?
I wouldn't step foot on that fucking island.
Would you go to Alcatraz?
Well, apparently, I saw on the one website.
You're very fascinated about the Alcatraz cruises, aren't you?
Yeah, apparently there's Alcatraz cruises.
What's the fucking point? I'm not there to spend the night. I'm not there to go to the fucking gift shop. It's an evil place. I don't want to be anywhere near there.
Wes, would you go to Alcatraz?
No.
I would go to Alcatraz.
Get fucked.
Actually, yeah.
I would ghost hunt at Alcatraz. I do want to ghost hunt.
Nah.
There's nothing reported demonic there.
You don't know that.
There's no reports of
a guy Epsteined himself, maybe.
That wasn't a demonic thing.
He said he saw eyes in the darkness. What do you think it was? If something took him out from inside the jail cell.
It looks so peaceful. Look at that.
Of course it's peaceful. Everyone's dead there.
No, not even like they have
there.
No, I pulled up the page. It's
of
legit.
The Alcatraz City Cruises, and like the little promo they have, everyone's having so much fun.
Yeah. Because you're just driving around it, but you're not going on the island, are you?
No, they stop. They port.
You actually go on.
Yeah, get fucked. I'm not going on the goddamn island.
No, dude, get bent.
I'm staying on the fucking boat.
Let's see what I got.
All right. Next week, gentlemen. Oh, you're going to love this, Anthony. Next week, we have Project Bluebeam.
Did you hear that, TikTok idiots? We're finally doing it. Now you can leave me the fuck alone about it.
Project fucking Bluebeam. And that is actually going to be recorded on Thursday. Thursday night, we have to record because next Sunday.
Shit, this Thursday?
This Thursday. Why?
Oh, I have to substitute at my school, but I think I'll be able to get here by
You're
10.
going to be fine. Because next Sunday, well, this is going to be obviously after our Halloween Live, but next Sunday's our Halloween Live.
Okay.
The 29th.
Mind you, this episode debuts on 11/5. We shouldn't even be talking about this.
I don't care. Fuck it. So our next episode, we're talking about Project Bluebeam.
So you're listening in the future about something we did in the past already. So be prepared. I hope everyone's ready to go back and listen because we already did this.
I mean, technically they can. The lives do get recorded and put up on YouTube. So
I'm confused and I feel tired.
first of all, that's your just general presence. So get ready for Project Bluebeam because I'm not. I know Eric is. You know what Project Bluebeam is, right?
Isn't it the fucking astral projection shit?
There's lasers in the sky. We think UFOs are gonna take over the world. Laser guided BB guns.
All right, so
I got something that's laser projected for you.
we'll see everybody next week. Remember, guys, everyone say goodnight.
Adios, motherfuckers.
Got to me.
Good night, everybody.
Remember, everybody, question everything. We'll see you next week for Project Bluebeam.
Bye.
Good night.
Konnichiwa, bitches. It's Ryu West speaking. If you want to find out more about the Is This Real podcast, follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/isthisrealpc or on Twitter at isthisrealpc or on Instagram at isthisrealpodcast, all one word.